Hola, bienvenidos. Vas a tomar este examen de AP Spanish Language. Yo soy John de Marco Learning y vamos a practicar y estudiar y charlar. Si tenéis preguntas, tenemos un chat. Déjame saber en qué forma, en qué manera puedo ayudar a todos ustedes la noche antes de este examen. For those of you who are joining, I encourage you to let me just see real quick. Post your questions here in the chat. I'm going to ask you all to let me know how I can help you. And I'm just going to make sure that you can all hear me nice and clearly. This video will be recorded, posted to our channel. If you have questions afterwards, I encourage you to ask them in the description and in the chat. So let me know that you're all here. And also remember, I'm posting all of the links that I'm going to be referring to in the description. I've actually already got them all up for you. Let's see, Joseph, vienes de TikTok, bienvenidos. Vamos a empezar con este. Let me share my screen. I want to share this playlist. This is our 2021 AP Spanish language exam playlist. I walk through the cultural comparison questions. I walk through a little bit of multiple choice, and I walk through writing in these videos. Last year's exam, the 2020 exam, was all about cultural comparison and the oral presentation. So that's there as well. So I actually cover every single part of the exam in these videos. The three at the front, I've got some tips for the exam in general, the 2021 exam. I've left off, in fact, I'll move this one up for all of you. I left off the video on digital exams because, of course, there is no digital AP Spanish language exam. So it's great to see you, Ryong, Stephanie, Carlin, Creator Studio, Conker, Boa, Alan, bienvenidos a todos. We're going to be working from este documento, which is the course and exam description. This is not as helpful of a document as it is for other AP exams. So if you study for AP European History or AP English language, you might get a little bit more out of the CED. It's a little bit less valuable here. Pero tenemos esta información aquí. So remember how this is broken down, everyone. It's just useful to keep this in mind. I want you all to visualize your experience of being on this test tomorrow. It will begin with a multiple choice section. You will have a total of 95 minutes. That's 1 hour and 35 minutes to work through part A, which are just print texts of multiple choice. That'll count for just under a quarter of the exam. You will work through part B. That will count for just over a quarter. You're going to have audio text and print text. And if we have time, we're going to be going over this. So Anissa, Ulissa, Marlene, Madeline, everyone, welcome. If you are enjoying this video, press that like button. Subscribe to our channel aquí en Marco Learning, porque tenemos esta lista. Mira este. All of this is here for you, covering basically each part of the exam. The exam, after a break, a short break between the multiple choice and free response, in which I highly recommend, as you're visualizing this, you've done multiple choice, you've been working through the print and the audio, take that break, walk around the room, circulate, perambulate, take a snack, a drink of water, go to the bathroom, really get your mind reset because it's quite a marathon. You're going to get 15 minutes to write an email. You're going to get 55 minutes for an argumentative essay. Then you're going to get basically 9 minutes. Actually, that's not how it works. It's really a couple of minutes for each of these two. Questions 3 and 4 were the entire exam last year in 2020. And those are the ones I've covered extensively, as I said, on this YouTube channel here. So you can follow along for those parts. I very recently have covered in the playlist. It's in this video here, the one that's called Saturday Session Writing. That's the one where I cover questions 1 and 2. I do want to focus more on these multiple choice free response questions. So actually, Meta's asking, I'm not a native speaker and I'm super scared of the multiple choice. Any tips? Yes, stick around. I'm going to be going over those. So nobody needs to be saved. In fact, one thing I want you all to just do, and this is an exercise I've done before, so if you've watched this, forgive me, you're familiar with this, but I want you to type into the chat in English, just because I will not be perfect. Like literally start typing. I will not be perfect, comma, and that is okay. And you're going to type that in the chat for me, because perfection is a problem for you on this exam, right? La perfección sería un problema, right? Es el enemigo de lo bueno. It's the enemy of the good, because you don't need to be perfect to do very well on this exam. You need to work with the questions that you've got and do your best. And so I see I will not be perfect, and that is okay. And I appreciate that. I think that's the right approach. Good idea. Who gave that to you? Okay, let's get right into some examples of some multiple choice. Okay, so I'm going to work through this. I think I breezed through this in previous videos, but I want to take my time. So let's take a look at this multiple choice section. What I'm going to do, I'll pin this to the chat in our video, CED, enter, and I'm going to pin this for us all. This one, I'm going to pin this message. This should be up at the top of the chat. You can click on this. Y aquí estamos en la página 174 o 167. Okay, this is where we are inside the text if you're having problems reading it. It says, este texto trata de un cine que también es un restaurante. El artículo original fue publicado el 18 de agosto de 2010 en Argentina por La Nación. So I get this basic information. If there's information inside of this preliminary information you don't know, move past it. Mañana por la mañana, you're going to move past the parts of the exam you don't know. Con confianza, with confidence. So it says, cuando el cine también es restaurante. Well, I know that says when the movie theater is also a restaurant. En algunas salas se puede comer a la carta mientras se disfruta un film. Los fines de semana casi no hay lugares. Now we have the article here. The opening multiple choice questions that you're going to see mañana in the AP Spanish language exam are going to be text only, but then it will shift to a combination of text and audio. So I want to give you all a minute to look this over. There's a couple of different approaches that my students have taken with this. You can take a pass through it and try to get the basic plot line as you read. Some people are not as good at skimming, if Spanish is their second language, in Spanish as they are in English, and therefore skimming in a foreign language might be a disaster. So this is something that you might want to practice right now. Take the first 4 paragraphs, read this on your own, and see if you can skim it. And then I'm going to actually work through it a little bit more slowly. Remember, aquí tenemos 4 párrafos y luego 3 más. Hay 7 párrafos. Okay. While you're reading this, I'm going to look in the chat. We are on page 167 of the course and exam description. So be reading the passage on the screen while I answer questions. So you're looking at this text and you're saying, can I skim it? Now I want you to let me know in the chat, can you skim in Spanish? Can you skim well in Spanish? Yes or no? Are you good at skimming as you look at this? You could say yes, comma, I am good at skimming. No, comma, bruh, I am not. And if you are enjoying this video, I encourage you, press that like button. Let us know how we can help you. One thing I'm going to do real quick, because my thumbnail didn't load. Let's just get a better version. And so I'm seeing, yeah, some questions. Are you good at skimming? Different answers here. And so this is something to be very intentional about. I don't understand why this isn't working, sorry. Just to be very intentional about is whether or not you think that you can accurately skim. So I'm sorry, just needed to get one thing. And see if I can just upload this for YouTube. So as you're finishing reading that, okay. So what I want to do is highlight, there are, again, 3 more paragraphs that come after this. There's a question of timing too. How many of you have taken this exam under strict time constraints where you really understand the timing? Because this is something that you can do. Let's see. Some of you can kind of skim, yes, no, really a mixed bag. So let's just take a look at how you can read around maybe words you don't know. So I'm just going to grab the first paragraph. La propuesta llegó a Buenos Aires hace poco más de un año. Ver una película y disfrutar de un menú de 3 pasos, recostado en un sillón que nada tiene que envidiarles a los asientos de primera clase y con un mozo que está pendiente de 2 cosas: atender a los comensales sin tapar la pantalla y de que la copa de los espectadores esté siempre llena. So if you don't know, for example, what comensales, envidiarles, recostado, or even propuesta, right? If you don't have a word there, you can still get a lot of information. And remember one thing about this: you are not being quizzed on the words you don't know. You're being quizzed on questions that take you to a very specific place. At times, that requires you to really understand what's going on, but for the purposes of what you're doing here, is not necessary. So, por ejemplo, la primera. ¿Cuál es el propósito del artículo? What's the purpose of this article is a very general question, but let's take this one. ¿Qué indica la frase el exigente paladar porteño? ¿Qué indica la frase el exigente paladar porteño? Ok, vamos a buscar por el texto paladar, ¿de qué cómo se llama? Este paladar porteño, el exigente paladar porteño. Okay, it wasn't in the first paragraph. Let's just see if we can find it anywhere else. Paladar porteño. Does anyone see it? We're scanning the text, which is not skimming. I'm scanning, looking for a word. And let's see, I don't see it right away. This is another thing to remember. The AP Spanish language exam no va a ser en una manera digital. It's not going to be the digital version por el internet. So you are allowed to move back and forth and mark up the page. So paladar porteño, we keep looking one more time. And it could be in the chart. And let's see. Here it is. In the 3rd paragraph, I missed it. La nación vivió esta experiencia para conocer si de este cóctel que combina alta gastronomía con cine resulta un trago de buen sabor para el exigente paladar porteño. So it's saying what is indicated by the phrase el exigente paladar porteño. Do you guys know what el exigente paladar porteño is? Have you seen exigente in Spanish? Have you seen paladar? Have you seen porteño? And do you necessarily need to know it here? So let me know in the chat whether this is something that you feel comfortable with just on its face. So what do we know about La Nación? Resulta un trago de buen sabor para el exigente paladar porteño. And if we don't know, and I'll give it a second because there's a bit of a gap between the stream. Yeah. So a lot of people are like, well, not exactly sure. Let's see if we can eliminate what this refers to. Does it indicate que los habitantes de Buenos Aires son muy exigentes con las películas? Que los habitantes de Buenos Aires no se conforman con cualquier comida? Que a los habitantes de Buenos Aires les gusta comer en el cine? Or D, que los habitantes de Buenos Aires ya no van tanto al cine? So, what is it telling me about the people who live in Buenos Aires? Notice what's happened. A lot of people don't know what exigente paladar porteño is, but now on the basis of the question, we know que tiene que ver con los habitantes de la ciudad de Buenos Aires. It's this method where you extract information, kind of ping-ponging back and forth between the data of the text. La Nación vivo esta experiencia para conocer si de este cóctel, of this mixture, que combina alta gastronomía con cine, whether it would, if it would result un trago de buen sabor para el exigente paladar porteño. So whether it kind of all work out for el exigente paladar porteño. So, are they muy exigentes con las películas? ¿No se conforman con cualquier comida? ¿Que a los habitantes de Buenos Aires les gusta comer el cine? ¿Que los habitantes de Buenos Aires ya no van tanto al cine? Take a minute and let me know what you think the answer to this question is. Give you a minute and let me know if you want to go back. Remember, I pinned the course and exam description to the top of the page. And this is on page 168. Take a minute and try number 2, and then let me know what you think the correct answer is in the chat. So again, for those of you joining, we are doing number 2 from the AP Spanish Language CED that I pinned to the chat. So I've given you guys a little bit of time. A lot of you are guessing B. I've got some A's, some D's. Demanding, yeah, that if you can get that exigente means demanding, then that alone is enough, because it's not about whether they go to the movies or whether they like food. It's that they ain't going to accept whatever food you put in front of them, because exigente, paladar porteño, means this demanding Buenos Aires taste or kind of palate that they have. So did you get question 2 right? Maybe not. Do you need it to do really well in the exam? Probably not either, right? This is not, so the big mistake people make is they think, I don't know enough grammar. I don't know enough vocabulary. I'm in so much trouble. My accents are all wrong. That is, you're missing the story, everyone. It's about your ability to move through these questions quickly on test day. Okay, and let me know on the chat, is this helpful? Are there topics that you guys want to cover? And if you're enjoying this video, press that like button, because at Marco Learning, we're going to be going live on all kinds of subjects for AP exams through this week, as well as for SAT, ACT, and college admissions. So check us out and subscribe to our channel. So let's see this one. We just read this paragraph. ¿Cuál es la función del tercer párrafo? La nación vivió esta experiencia para conocer si de este cóctel que combina alta gastronomía con cine resulta un trago de buen sabor para. ¿Cuál es la función del tercer párrafo? Okay, so take a minute. What is the function of that third paragraph? I'm going to go back to the third paragraph. La nación vivió. This one, what is the function of it? Okay, so I'm going to give you all a minute now that you've had a chance to look back. Number 3, what's the function of the third paragraph? And by the way, this is all cognate city. Like a lot of you who are not native Spanish speakers are going to be able to pick this up from English and other language. Okay. And again, Deanna and everyone who is asking questions about other parts of the exam, don't forget, I actually have a playlist tonight for all my West Coast people. The night is young. Check out my writing playlist where I go over each of those parts. I go over some high-level strategies here, and then I go through the cultural comparison and oral presentation, presentación oral, here. So those are all in the AP Spanish language playlist, which I'm going to post again here in the chat. So let me know for all of this. And again, I've linked in the description all those things that are going to help you the most. Okay, so go ahead and I'll give you a few more seconds to type in that download, type in your answer to number 3. Okay, and I'm just sorry, I'm fixing one thing that's broken in my video. Give me just 1 second, everyone. I appreciate your patience while you're finishing number 3. Okay, and I've got here a lot of people are picking the answer choice C. And this is a great question, by the way, that Sophia is asking. If I speak and write fluent Spanish but haven't taken the test or studied, do you recommend still taking the test? I say go for it, but remember that you're not necessarily going to do, that there are some key advantages to preparing if you have some time tonight. Okay, so the correct answer to question number 3 is in fact C. They're linking together the elements of paragraph 3. This is to offer a personal experience. Nelson, we haven't even seen him yet. That's one of the interesting things. Nelson El Mozo is off topic. We know that. And then even this, right? Like, did you learn what paragraphs what movies they're showing? No, you did not know what they're exhibiting on the basis of paragraph 3. Number 4, ¿qué se puede afirmar del menú que se sirve? So what do we know about how they serve the menu? And I have a guess just from the memory of the description. In fact, this information is in the description about this information, or was it, where was it? Here it is. It's in the first line. La propuesta llegó a Buenos Aires hace poco más de un año. Ver una película y disfrutar de un menú de 3 pasos. So it was like right at that initial information, and I got that it has varios platos. So the correct answer is B. It's not desayuno. That doesn't even make sense. Who has desayuno in the movie theater? Se ofrece una sola propuesta. They only offer one thing, or it only includes beverages. We know that this is a restaurant as well. Según el artículo, ¿en qué momento se sirven los platos? So according to the article, in what moment do they serve the plates? So we'll go back and take a look. Let's see. Let's see if we can find out, when do they serve the food? Take a minute and look at that. You're looking at when they serve the food. Okay, and I'm going to take us back here 1 second. I'm so sorry, hold on. My computer is messed up just a little bit. I think I can get this fixed. Okay, so again, there we are. Okay, so what is the answer to question number 5? According to the article, in what moment do they serve the plates, the dishes? Let me know here in the chat. And some of you are following along. This is number 5. I'm giving you all a second. So number 5, the correct answer is actually B, that when do they serve the dishes? Cuando lo solicite el cliente. And let's see if we can find the proof for it. When do they serve the dishes? Somebody mentioned, let's see, you choose from when you choose right at the beginning with the light, the menu. Allí el mozo tomará el pedido y consultará en qué momento de la película uno quiere que llegue cada paso. Por lo general, los 3 pasos del menú de Molteni siguen el ritmo de introducción, nudo y desenlace de la película. And so you guys are asking, or you guys, a lot of you are saying, did they serve them before the whole thing begins? But the correct answer is when the customer prefers. Okay, so these multiple choice questions will continue. I want to take a moment and take a look at an example of how the multiple choice will work with the audio as well. So you'll get a description and it says, por primero, tienes 1 minuto para leer la introducción y prever las preguntas. You're going to get 1 minute to read the introduction and preview the questions. It's very important, everyone, to spend a little bit of time tonight remembering the instructions that go into this exam, the way that it's all broken down, because it's all going to be the same tomorrow. There's going to be no surprises, and there are no special digital formats this year. Let's see real quick. And I'm just looking at any questions while I was setting up this file for us. The one question is about the Barron's multiple choice. The Barron's multiple choice can be a little bit harder than the real one, but we're working from the course and exam description right now, which I've linked to, and so it should be manageable. So it says, esta grabación trata de la etnia Wayuu. La entrevista original titulada 100% Wayuu fue publicada el 9 de agosto de 2011 en Estados Unidos por Radio Naciones Unidas. Laura Kwiatkowski habla con Patricia Velázquez, una modelo venezolana de origen Wayuu. La grabación dura aproximadamente 3 minutos. So you're going to get 1 minute to read the introduction and preview the questions. Let's preview the questions real quick. We haven't heard the script. ¿Cuál es el propósito principal de la entrevista? What's the main purpose, the main idea of this article? ¿A qué se refiere la entrevistada cuando dice que para los Wayuu no existen fronteras? So what is this interviewee referring to when she says that for the Wayuu, there are no borders? Según la entrevistada, ¿cómo ayuda la fundación a las mujeres Wayuu? So how does the foundation help the women of the Wayuu peoples, according to her? And you can even preview the answers. So the questions 12, 13, 14. Oh, actually, there's two more as well here in this sample. De acuerdo con la entrevista, ¿qué se puede afirmar sobre los bolsos Susu? So we're getting information. You want to listen for los bolsos Susu. You want to listen to information about la Fundación a las Mujeres Wayuu. What about fronteras? You could even, now here's one way to mark this up, everyone. You could mark down like fronteras, Wayuu, and be able to, as you're keeping notes, interact with the questions while you're listening to the text. So it's extremely important that you have that awareness in mind. And the last one, ¿qué pregunta sería la más apropiada para formular a Patricia Velázquez al final de la entrevista? So this is an important bit of information because in fact, here's a good question I got just from Conquer about not understanding the accents. They're going to use a very standard accent. So something like, de acuerdo con la entrevista, ¿qué se puede afirmar sobre los bolsos Susu? And they'll do like, mañana en Univision. You'll get that very standard Spanish, probably Latin American Spanish sound. I speak in un castellano de Castilla en España porque yo viví en Madrid en el año 2012 como becario de Fulbright del Departamento de Estado de los Estados Unidos con el Consejo Superior de Investigaciones Científicas en la calle del Bastante de Madrid. Entonces, porque yo soy historiador de la época medieval, me encanta España y esta manera de hablar. Pero es un poco extraño aquí en los Estados Unidos y aquí en este AP Spanish language. So one thing about that Chow Cheeks is saying in the chat is, yes, actually, you do want to make sure that you have a watch, not a smartwatch or a beepy watch, but you want to make sure that you have just a regular watch to keep track of time and that you're being very calm about certain things. So two things that you should not do tomorrow. One, ignore time, because time can directly affect your score. And two, freak out about time, because guess what? If you leave one or two questions, quickly fill them in, and that's it. Get one or two wrong. As we said, you're not going to be perfect, and everything's going to be okay, right? So I want to take a moment and just embrace that. You're not going to need to be perfect as you're taking notes. You don't need to bounce around panicky. What methods will you use tomorrow to help you stay calm? I want everyone in the chat to post how you're going to stay calm on this exam tomorrow and how you're going to control what your hand is doing. Give me one strategy for how you're going to stay calm. And actually, what I'm going to do is post for you all a link to a really cool article that we wrote, that Elena Vernon, my colleague, wrote about overcoming test anxiety, because this is something you're not going to dramatically change your score between now and the exam in a matter of a few hours, but you can control your frame of mind. So I would like to encourage you all with this article. It's called Overcoming Test Anxiety. So let's see, and while you're typing in how you're going to stay calm, Lee, deep breaths and trying to act like it's just practice, TBH. Take deep breath. Damien, deep breaths. I'm going to drink coffee and do yoga. The right amount of coffee? Yes. The wrong amount of coffee? And yoga. The right amount of yoga is calmness. Remember myself that it's not that big of a deal. If it's okay, McDonald's, facts, blink. Okay, interesting physiological approaches. Definitely check out. I'm going to pin that article that I just linked to there. This is our Overcoming Test Anxiety, to think about that issue. Now, with the remaining time I have, I do really quickly want to take a look at some samples from previous years. So I'm going to go back to, vamos a Vale. Vamos a mirar de 2017 este Persuasive essay.
You have 1 minute to read the directions.
Oh, here it is.
Tienes un minuto para leer las instrucciones de este ejercicio.
So there's that nice accent of something that is not that scary. This is what the College Board audio sounds like. So it'll go for a minute, I think. And then once the minute goes.
You will now begin this task.
Ahora vas a empezar este ejercicio.
Now this ejercicio is the persuasive essay. So let's just pull this
Part
up.
B. This part requires spoken response.
No, that's not it. Sorry. Let's go to here. So this is your persuasive essay, right? So you'll see they're going to be giving you face-to-face a la izquierda en inglés, a la derecha en español, in a very standard español that a lot of people feel comfortable with. And this is, by the way, one question that a lot of people ask, which is like, how good does my accent need to be? You will be amazed. If you listen to what I did in our playlist on the Marco Learning page, again, plugging the actual page that you're on right now with these recordings, I did some eye-rolling responses, very funny, to like, hola, yo me llamo Stephanie, yo soy de los Estados Unidos, y yo quiero hablar para AP Spanish language. That voice can get a perfect score because this is not a contest for who has the prettiest accent. So let's listen to a little bit of what this sounds like again in the exam.
You have 6 minutes to read the essay topic, source number 1 and source number 2.
Tienes 6 minutos para leer el tema del ensayo, la fuente número 1 y la fuente número 2.
Okay, so like that goes there.
Con la prohibición de portar.
Now here's some accent. Let's see if we can hear it. This is a source for the persuasive essay from the College Board's website. So we can hear a little bit of what you're going to hear tomorrow and see if it's scary at all. It shouldn't be.
Source number 3.
Ahora escucha la fuente número 3.
¿Celulares sí o no en la escuela? Bueno, respecto del celular, si bien es un tema muy complejo y que en todos los ámbitos educativos, tanto personal directivo, docentes, profesores, tenemos la obligación de tratarlo. Nosotros a nivel institucional hemos tomado una decisión porque, si bien es cierto que años atrás el celular no existía o estaba en manos de muy pocos alumnos, hoy tiene un uso prácticamente masivo. Entonces, la idea es ver qué destino tiene el celular y con qué destino se lo va a utilizar.
So we're not going to listen to this forever, but I want to take a minute, right? To remind you all that, like, even if you didn't understand a lot of that, it sounded kind of muddery and messy. Take notes on what you can understand and focus on the big themes. Don't focus on the filler words, the ums and the ahs and the things that connect, or even music. Yes, Ariane. Nosotros vamos a hacer bien en esta prueba. Good enough. Okay. And that is a heavy accent, right? So there is a sort of thickness to this. The instructions guy was pretty easy. She's a little bit harder, but remember, you're not transcribing this, nor are you being asked multiple choice here. You're being asked to interact with this print text, right? And then the information from sources. This is source 2, this chart, and source 3, right? And this is why it's not that big of a deal, because actually you've got 2 other sources in print that have primed you for this, and you're not being tested on these individually. So yeah, and I see a few of you with the she's got the heavy accent, she's talking so fast. And so this, just looking at some of this. Okay, good. Okay, some people are very anxious. What about the multiple choice audio part? Now that could be a little bit tougher where you are being asked questions. So I think to think about free response is this. Free response is an opportunity for you to steer around what you don't know. Free response is a chance for you to like control the narrative of what's going on. The multiple choice is you being reactive and responsive. So, you know, it's an extremely important thing to keep in mind that like the bar is very low, and on free response, you're just grabbing whatever you can. So Bree, everyone who's anxious, don't be anxious. You're all going to do just fine tomorrow. Remember, if you've been in Spanish, how many years have you guys been taking Spanish? Let me know in the chat. Is it 2 years, 4 years? Are you bilingual? Did you grow up with a little bit of Spanish at home? Because if you've been studying this for 3 or 4 or 5 years, trust your own voice, trust your instinct. You're going to do great. Now, I want to look at the print tasks briefly with the this. And one thing I'll just say to everyone asking about the accents, vocabulary, grammar, now is not the time to worry about accents, vocabulary, or grammar. That ain't it. Like, you're not changing that tonight. You're not being graded fundamentally on that. We can actually take a look. Let's take a look at scoring guidelines for something like a persuasive essay, right? We go to scoring guidelines, right? You're going to see on the email reply, for example, the very first task you have, you're going to be given a scoring guideline for this that asks you, in fact, let me get a more recent one. Okay. If you want to get a perfect score in the email, here, 5 out of 5, here's what you need to do. Maintain the exchange with a clearly appropriate response. Provide all the required information. Fully understandable. Now, mira este, chicos. Occasional errors do not impede comprehensibility. You can make mistakes and get a perfect 5 out of 5 on the email task. Varied and appropriate vocabulary, idiomatic language, accuracy and variety, etc. Mostly consistent, mostly good enough. Then you'll see the 4s and the 3s that a lot of you will need are actually allow you to make even more mistakes. So let's see. And the speaking part briefly, I'll go over again. I do want to insist that you check out the playlist that we have at Marco Learning, which I've just moved to the top of our page for you all. These are reviews I did. You can watch, if it's California and it's 6:43 right now, you have a lot of time to be reviewing this in great. We have hours and hours of stuff, more than you can need on our channel to go into this. But just briefly, I want to take a look at how this is structured. So the free response section is going to begin with an email task. It's going to move to the persuasive essay, then a conversation, which will be sort of semi-scripted, and then a cultural comparison. And here's an example of the cultural comparison. It's pretty short. A lot of people always ask, like, what country do I use? Use the one you know the best. If the El Mundo Hispanohablante con que te sea familiar. Where do they put that? Oh, here it is. En tu presentación, compara una comunidad hispanohablante que te sea familiar a tu comunidad o a otra comunidad. So you're going to compare a Spanish-speaking community in Texas or Guatemala or Argentina or España with another community, probably one aquí en los Estados Unidos, if that's where you are. So you're going to grab onto that community and then identify specific ways that they are similar or different. Okay, so ¿cómo afecta el diseño de una ciudad? And I did cover this on the Marco Learning playlist. Por ejemplo, sus mercados, parques y calles a la vida social de las personas en una comunidad del mundo hispanohablante que te sea familiar. Compara el efecto del diseño de una ciudad en una región del mundo hispanohablante que te sea familiar con el efecto del diseño en tu comunidad o en otra comunidad. En tu presentación puedes referirte a lo que has estudiado, vivido, observado, etc. So, one of the things that you can do if you've pre-prepared Mexico, España, Uruguay, is to grab onto, like I lived in Madrid for a year, so I would say, el diseño de la ciudad de Madrid es muy diferente que el diseño de la ciudad de Nueva York. Yo viví en Madrid, o yo conozco muy bien la ciudad de Madrid, que tiene este diseño etc. And I would grab onto el barrio histórico de Chueca, el barrio en que yo viví, Salamanca, and I would talk about how the design of the cities, the mercados, muy abierto, el Corte Inglés, un mercado, una tienda con un supermercado, how that is different. El Parque del Retiro, al centro de España, de Madrid, is a royal park. And so its design has that grandness that you won't see in Central Park. And I would keep comparing them. And so, by the way, there's some new people joining us. Welcome. Thank you for joining our live stream. This is going to be wrapping up in a few minutes. I'm going to post the recording of this video straight to our YouTube channel. I've already added it to the playlist. So definitely subscribe to our channel. We have all kind of videos. And on the Marco Learning YouTube channel, if you are taking other AP exams, remember, we actually have a playlist for AP Psych, AP World, Lang, the general APs, Environmental Science, Euro, US History, Gov, English Lit. We also have recent uploads that we've done in macro, micro, Spanish literature I did, all human geography, all kinds of subjects that are available for you guys to study. I've been working from this document, the course and exam description, which I have posted in the description of this video. I've also been on the College Board's website on AP Central to look at previous year's questions. That's where a lot of this is going to come. So I want to, blah, 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 skip. I want to come back to some Q&A for the final minutes. And I want to give you a word of encouragement. If you've been studying Spanish for several years, I'm going to look at my notes up here, what you guys said, 4 years, 12, 5, 4 years, 6 years. Bro, you've been studying this language for years. Trust yourself. You will listen to stuff and you're going to miss whole sentences and not know it. Good. Embrace that. That's part of the exam. When I have sat in Spain, here's how this works. So I started learning Spanish when I was 13, took it all through high school, went to NYU, began studying brain science, but I was like taking Spanish classes and I was like, me encanta Spanish. And so I stuck around, studied film, literature, history, La Edad Media, which is the Middle Ages. And I kind of got sucked in, and I learned Latin and learned some French. I studied more Spanish. And when I moved to Spain in 2012, I was the first time in my life I was really happy I was a Spanish major, because like I was bilingual. I could talk to people con confianza. And I remember the first time I had a 4-hour-long conversation about medieval Spanish history with professors of medieval Spanish. I was so exhausted. There were lots of words I didn't know. Just let those words wash over you. Tomorrow, there will be words that you don't know, let them wash over you. Focus instead on getting points, because here's the thing about tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is about you scooping up as many points as you possibly can. It's not about proving that you're a good Spanish speaker. It's not about having a good accent. It's not having a good accent marks or understanding el subjuntivo. Forget all that. That's what Spanish classes make you think is important. What's important tomorrow is that you get points, and you're going to get points. So tomorrow, you are going to, and I want you to write this in the chat. Tomorrow, I'm going to get points. I'm going to go here. Tomorrow, I'm gonna, you're typing. Everyone start typing. No excuses. I'm gonna get points. And I do acknowledge that there is a prayer group for me in the chat here. One thing I'll encourage you guys, we do at Marco Learning, we do have a Discord server. It's pretty small, and I'm going to invite it. You guys are a small group and a good group. If you're interested in joining, I'll post this link here. This is a link I'm going to have expire pretty shortly. But I want you, I'll pin this to the top here for a minute. I think, yeah, you can join our Discord server and you can all have your own little group here. Tomorrow, you're gonna get points. You're gonna conseguir los puntos. You're getting points. You're not speaking Spanish. You're getting points. You're not being perfect. Get points. Make decisions that get more points, and don't worry about the nonsense. That's how this is gonna go. And tonight, if you're anxious, don't go around online talking to other anxious people. They ain't going to help you. They're just going to distract you. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to my playlist and you're going to listen to my weird Castellano de Castilla de España. And you're gonna estudiar conmigo por todo. Mira este. Aquí, psychology. Aquí, Spanish language. I go over the different parts of the free response. I go over the writing parts in great detail. I tell you what to bring and what not to bring to your test, including a watch, like I said earlier, un reloj. Here is last year's exam videos. All of last year's exam videos were the presentación oral and the cultural comparison. So, Esther, it's okay if you're not taking it. You are all, yes, I am your boy. And one thing I want to say real quick as we wrap up, if you don't currently follow us on Instagram and TikTok, please do. Do I have any of my TikTokers here? I was just talking on TikTok. We've got about almost 60,000 followers now on TikTok. But I post updates for exams and how to study. I'm going to be posting updates about college admissions. Follow us now. Take out your phone. Follow us on TikTok and also on Instagram. We're going to be going live there. So I love all of you. If you've enjoyed this video, press the like button. Be in touch with us. Y que tengas buena suerte mañana por la mañana en este examen de AP Spanish language. You're going to do great. Okay. So enjoy our playlist of videos. You're going to be amazing. And at Marco Learn.